Hey guys, I just had a cool idea that might apply to the pedal company idea. I have these Electro Harmonix pedals, and they're pretty new, so the artwork is pretty good on them. But, it's getting a little scuffed and scratched. Sometimes these pedals, a lot of it's about the design and the artwork. See, there's a bunch of dirt. I live in a very sandy, dirty, old western town. So the artwork's good on these. They're pretty new, but a lot of these older pedals, they get scratched up and they just start to look old. The resale value goes down a little bit whenever they get really beaten up. So I had this idea of a pedal cover. So maybe with the pedals we make specifically, perhaps we want to do this, or we might want to make the covers and just sell the covers. But the idea is you take this very thin plexiglass that you buy at Hobby Lobby. You can buy it in a big poster board size sheet for $5. Very thin. It's probably about as thin as poster board, but it's clear plexiglass. And I don't know if any of y'all are familiar with vacuum forming, but to make a long story short, you have a box, and on the box you have a bunch of holes. It's like perforated, and there's a suction hose hooked to the box, so you have it hooked to a vacuum. So you're pulling a vacuum evenly through all these little holes in the top of this box. Then you take your pedal, or whatever you're trying to form, and you put it in the center of that. And then separately, you have a piece of plexiglass that you heat up in an oven. And around that plexiglass, you have a wooden frame. And what you do is you heat up the plexiglass, you pull a suction on this box, you heat up the plexiglass in its frame, and then you press it down over the part, and the plexiglass suctions down perfectly around your part, around the frame, because the frame has to be airtight around this box and the frame that the plexiglass is in. And it'll suction perfectly around it, and then you would have a clear cover, then you would just trim around it, and then you have this clear cover that would be a universal fit for these pedals. Some of them are a little different size, so you would have to specify if you're trying to sell them. But if we didn't do it for like a universal pedal thing, it might be something that we would consider for that all our pedals come with these covers. And if the covers break, we can make a little money and resell the covers for like $5 and make $4 off of each one of them. Anyway, the plexiglass idea that was brought to me, that's what came from it. I'm like, well, maybe we should just make plexiglass covers, and it would protect it, and you could still see the artwork and still use it just like regular. Take the cover off, clean it. Something like this you would need a laser cutter for, to cut the plexiglass perfectly, because you'd want it to, hug these nuts. You'd want the plexiglass to hug these nuts basically perfectly around there, nice and tightly. So around this as well, and then the plexiglass could just stop right at the bottom. So I don't know, just an idea, thinking ahead. Anybody can run with it if they got the idea. I don't mind. Make some money on it.